All the gamers and professionals know about SSDs, how fast they are, the blazing fast solid state, no moving parts jargon. But there are real unsung heroes of the storage universe that aren't going anywhere anytime soon. And that's enterprise hard drives. Stop playing. You thought we forgot, huh? I'm just kidding. Everyone knows about the SSDs, but these aren't going anywhere anytime soon. As you may know because you are a fan of this channel or our brand, Server Part Deals, enterprise drives are becoming more widely used and available to consumers. But if you are unfamiliar and might be thinking, enterprise drives, would these even work in my home PC? Well, the short answer is yes. Most of the time, yes. But even if you do know what enterprise drives are, you might still have some questions because there are a wide variety that you can choose from, as you can see just from what's in front of me. And all the extra little details and little nuances between all of them, I'll help you figure it all out. With so many different product lines, some even used with tons of power on hours, some with none, or some with a recertified badge on them. What are enterprise hard drives even? And why is it okay to buy them even when they're used or recertified? We hear and see them more often now compared to back in the day when I was studying to get my IT degree. Before, just a few years ago, buying pre-owned hard disks were a big no-no, a red flag if you will. It was literally in our curriculum, in our textbooks, to avoid used or old hard drives and to always back up and to only purchase your hard drives new. But as things only get more expensive and our storage demands only increase, we find ways to save money as well as upkeep and the reliability of our systems. Reusing enterprise hard disks is one of those ways. Enterprise hard drives technologically have only gotten better since back in the day, not even 10 years ago, and are now engineered for a longer life, harsh conditions, and to be spinning running 24/7. To some, hard drives at this point seem like an ancient technology compared to all the new SSDs that are coming out constantly, but this tech is still relevant today, making advancements in the space and are still the very backbone of all your favorite apps, your favorite websites, and the silly cat videos you've watched 20 times last night. Essentially, the whole internet is data, and all of that data has to be stored somewhere. You know, data and stuff on the internet is stored in the cloud, but what is that even? Like the cloud, what is that even? That's just like a fancy marketing term for servers or data centers that are connected to the internet. And all of those cloud servers or data centers are all being run by these bad boys. Enterprise hard drives, still spinning strong. Enterprise HDDs might not seem like a big deal, but oh man, you couldn't be more wrong. These drives are designed for data centers, of course, cloud storage, the big old servers that power everything from your Netflix binge sessions to your company's payroll system. You might be thinking, enterprise hard drives? Those are just classic clunker HDDs. And you may be partially correct. They are, yes, they are clunky, they are spinning still compared to SSDs, which are not, but these are not the same as the ones in your bad, outdated gaming PC. For starters, they are designed for durability and reliability. Unlike that basic old hard drive in your laptop, which may only spin for a few hours a day, enterprise drives are built to operate 24/7 and in demanding environments, constantly reading or writing data. And these things are tanks too, like they are built to withstand heat and vibration. Imagine all of these tightly packed in like a JBOD in a server and then times that, multiply that by 1,000, and that's like a data center in a small room. So they're built for heat and vibration. They're like the marathon runners of storage. They're always on and always reliable. Consistency is key. Next is their advanced optimization for performance, not only with RAID arrays, but with non-stop operation from the strain of a data center, and with multiple users accessing data simultaneously. And lastly, they come even with more features than your typical desktop HDD, which include advanced caching, error correction, and specific enterprise-tuned firmware. Basically, they're like that one teacher's pet in your class, the typical overachiever. Bruh is just built diff. Enterprise drives are just built diff in terms of durability, but they're also built differently, actually, for performance, which is another key differentiator. Enterprise drives are always spinning at 7,200 RPM or higher compared to consumer drives, which can go up to 7,200, but they vary between drives and can be even as slow as 5,400 RPM. We've seen a few that come by here that's as slow as 5,000. So along with the aforementioned featured in the firmware to optimize performance, these drives are filled with helium, and almost all enterprise drives are filled with helium compared to consumer drives, which again, it varies by capacity or the specific lines. Not all consumer drives have them, but all enterprise drives basically do have them. And what that does, it reduces the friction and the heat, which means that they can pack even more platters into the same 3.5-inch format or space. So more platters, which is the disk inside the hard drive, equals more storage. Genius. I know, right? And don't even get me started on the MTBF or mean time between failures. These drives are rated for millions of hours of operations. That's like saying, hey, it'll probably outlast your career in IT. Well, as Uncle Ben said, with great power comes great responsibility. Rest in peace. But he also forgot to tell young Peter Parker that it also comes at a cost too. Well, him kind of dying, I guess, was the cost, but anyway. In this analogy of enterprise hard drives are significantly more expensive than their consumer counterparts, and that's probably why you may have not heard of them as often, but that's at retail, the brand new cost at least. But that's for a good reason, and that good reason is for what we were going over earlier. You're paying for that peace of mind that comes with knowing that your data is stored on a drive that is built to last much longer than your average one. But if price is a big factor, that's where we come in. Here at Server Part Deals, due to incredibly high production costs outright when data centers are filling up and restocking their servers and their JBODs with drives and new drives, we are able to help you find used and recertified enterprise drives cheaper than desktop or consumer drives. Kind of similar to how you're able to find servers or workstation hardware that you can get for cheap from businesses, liquidating them or churning them out, even if they're just slightly outdated. You can go ahead and check like government auctions or things like that for examples, but even if it's just slightly outdated, they replace that old equipment for the newest, which is already calculated in their yearly budget. So after a certain period of time where older drives have been used for say 3 or 4 years, they're gonna go ahead and cycle those out because they already have budget set aside for getting brand new drives and replacing those drives. So once those drives are replaced, those are now used, but in terms of the bathtub curve, they're still perfectly fine and they can be repurposed. We need to, save the planet. We need to be doing more recycling. So this is what we can do with hard drives and reusing them. Now, for most users, enterprise hard drives can be overkill if not used in the right way. That's because enterprise drives are designed to be put into big arrays, spinning 24/7, compared again to the normal or consumer desktop drives, which are used to the 8 hours a day format. But for businesses and organizations that rely on uninterrupted access to their data, or a creative professional who needs to store all their project files, photos, and videos, these drives are worth every penny. The world is only increasingly more reliant on data. And in that world, enterprise HDDs continue to play a crucial role in keeping the digital ecosystem running. They definitely are not as flashy or glamorous as the latest GPU news or smartphone announcements, but they are truly the unsung heroes of the tech world, quietly working behind the scenes to ensure that our data is safe, accessible, and always ready whenever we need it. They truly do the thankless yet very much critical required job as a key backbone to the enterprise and data world. So the next time you stream a movie, check your email, browse Instagram, brain rot on TikTok, doom scroll on whatever app that you love doom scrolling on, take a second to think about and appreciate the humble hard drive spinning away in the background that makes it all possible. So if you found this video helpful or informative, smash that MF like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the tech that powers our lives until it takes over and the roles are reversed and we become exploited by the machines feeding off our essence and our energy. Kind of like the Matrix. But until next time, stay curious, stay awesome, and keep geeking out. My name is Gabe with Server Part Deals. and I'll catch you on the next one.